everybody, it's Brittany here from My Core Floor, back for your exercise of the week. We are in week 3 of our pelvic floor stretches. And as you can see, I'm standing holding a little towel, and we're gonna have a little prop for today's stretch series. So if you guys have a yoga mat nearby, that would also work, or just a small bath towel is what I use, and you're just gonna roll it up kind of tight. We're actually gonna step on it. So you just, and even with a yoga mat, same thing, you wanna kind of just roll it up nice and tight. If you feel like it's unrolling, at least with a towel, not a yoga mat, you could put a row of duct tape around it. That often helps to just keep it together, especially if this is going to be a stretch you're doing often, I hope. You'll want to just probably keep it wrapped up and kept together for you to do your stretches. So this week's stretch is actually a calf stretch for the pelvic floor. What do my calves have to do with my bladder and my pelvic floor and my pelvic pain? Let's explain. So if you watch somebody when they walk or move, what has to happen, I'm going to back up here so you guys can see in the camera, is that as the hip lengthens and translates forward, the calf has to allow that to happen. If you're really tight through your calf, what will happen is that your heel will jump up early. You see that makes my knee bend, and guess what that does to the hip flexor, which we've talked about last week, stretching, because that's really important for the pelvic floor. It tightens it and shortens it and locks it up. So having a stretched out calf helps you to have a better stretched out hip flexor. It is hard to get to the hip flexors if your calves are so super tight. So it's really good to combine these stretches. So you can do whichever you want first, but I feel like as long as they're done kind of together in a similar series, you're gonna have better benefits with both. And who doesn't want looser calves? I mean, so many people complain to me, especially if you're a woman who wears heels or tall boots, things like that. That can definitely shorten your calf muscles, and having tight calves can actually lead to dysfunction in how you walk and how you move up through the hips, up through the pelvis, believe it or not. So we're going to take our towel roll or yoga mat, and you're going to prop it on the floor, okay? And what you're going to do, I would recommend, guys, if you've never done this stretch with a towel roll before, to do it first at the wall like I'm going to show you. You can use the step stool or the stairs like we've done in the last 2 weeks. But start here because most people are pretty tight through their calves, and this is a little bit of a shocker to the system. The higher up you go with your foot on a step or a stool gives you a little bit deeper stretch. So start at the wall and move up, okay? Your foot, one foot is going to prop up on the towel, okay, where your heel is on the ground and the front of your foot is kind of propped up on the towel. So the towel sits about midway, okay? The other foot is going to go right up next to the wall, okay? And then what you're going to start with is just a forward back motion of your hips and pelvis. And if that doesn't feel too bad, then you can go ahead and slide it back a little bit farther. Or you can go ahead and jump to a step stool or a stair and do it that way. For a lot of you, this is going to pull pretty good. You'll feel it back behind the knee. You'll feel it into the calf. You're not going to probably feel it as much, I feel like, at the Achilles, but some people do. I feel like it tends to be a little higher in the calf that people feel it, and more behind the knee. But you're going to go with those forward back motions, just like we did with the last 2 weeks. And it's 3-dimensional. So once we do forward and back, then you need to do right and left to do side to side. Okay? And after 10 of those, we're going to do 5 and 5 with rotation. So 5 circling one way, and then 5 circling the other way. Biggest cheats with this exercise, I'm going to switch sides, and I'm going to have you guys switch sides too. So prop the other foot up. The other foot comes close to the wall, okay, and you'll start with the forward and back. Is that with the forward and back, a lot of times people want to start letting that heel lift because their hip is tight or their calf is tight or both are tight, and it's pulling them into that position. You want to fight to keep that back heel down, and you want to fight to keep that back knee straight. The other thing you don't want to do is this. You don't want to start doing some bending little mini squats, okay? The front leg will bend, but the back one stays nice and straight the whole time. Foot's pointing straight, heels on the ground, and then that back knee is straight. So you really get that length through the calf, but also you're getting some length through the front of that hip as well. So it serves both, but it's still good to do the hip flexor stretch without the towel roll, because the towel roll will certainly limit how far you can go because it's really aiming more at the calf, okay? Side to side for about 10, and then you're going to circle around. And you'll go about 5 in one direction, and you'll go about 5 in the other direction. And there you go. Try it out. Let me know how those calves are feeling. Let me know how you feel with the whole combination of getting the adductors and the groin from week 1, hip flexors from week 2, adding in the calf to help out that hip flexor week 3. Comment below, let us know how they're going, and we'll see you guys back next week.